morning, boys and girls. It's Tuesday, the 12th of February, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom Talk. I just noticed the little thing on that's better. Oh, I've got these little, aren't they wonderful, these little lights here? Come around here. These little lights here. I showed you this a while ago. It's just an old bottle that I found in the cupboard. And non-Irish Mary, our Irish friend who's not from Ireland, gave me these last time I went round to visit her. And all it is a little string of like lights. And you push them in a bottle and it makes pretties. Hang on a minute. But I picked it up to turn it on and the cork came out. It's not really a cork. There we are. That's it. Look. Isn't that pretty? I love this. You can't see it, so I'm going a little bit closer. There we are. You can see it when it's close. You can't see lights and things like that on the camera. It doesn't sort of do too well on that. Well, a very good morning to you, boys and girls, on a cloudy morning today. Looks like it's overcast. After I finish the show today, I'm popping into North London to do... they take blood from me twice a year, and they look under it, and I go back in 2 weeks' time. I can do it anything up to sort of 2 weeks before I go. And today is like right bang on 2 weeks. I don't like to leave it till the last minute. Because, of course, you never know. Something might happen, mightn't it? Some emergency might come up like I might get up on the day, the kind of last day before you... Because you have to give... They take the blood. And then there's a little period of which it gets sent off and looked at and then sent back again. So you've got to give it time. And you don't want to leave it till the last minute, because I could wake up in the morning, right? And there might be one of my beautiful orchids needing to be repotted. And I would have to do that first, and then I would miss my slot. We don't like to miss slots, dear. So today is like the longest bit, you know, and from today I could go today, tomorrow, the day after, or next week, Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So I'm kind of at the limit, and I like to go as I do. I'm very good with that sort of thing. You know, appointments and all that. I do like to do it, although I need a dentist appointment. I've just had the renewal letter. I can't believe it's August since I last went to the dentist. Where's that time go? Oh? My great nieces and great nephews happily tell me that I've got dirty teeth. Apparently. And the reason that they think I've got dirty teeth is because I've got tea stains on mine. And the old doctor or the dentist, you know, he's got that thing. I hate that thing. The electric scowl remover. You know, years ago they never had that. All they had was the rusty nail, didn't they? Okay, we're just going to clean your teeth out with that rusty nail. Now they've got that ultrasonic device, and it hurts. Because some of my gums have receded a bit due to the thing that I've got. My gums have receded a bit. And it's got this... like that. It's like an electric shock going through your head, isn't it? Some people are into being electrocuted, you know. Oh, yes. I've seen magazines with some very, very strange things that go into places in your body. And you push a button and you... So if you ever see me like that halfway through a show, you know what's going on, don't you? Why would people want to electrocute themselves? Have you ever been electrocuted? Not a nice experience, dear. It's happened to me a couple of times, actually. Not here. When I was a child, actually, and sort of teenager, I'd be inside a record player or something, mucking around with speakers, and you'd accidentally touch the bit where the electricity comes in. Very dangerous. You get a heart attack from electricity, you know. The only electrocutions you want are the ones when you're on that hospital bed. Oh, yes, yeah, see you later. Okay, stand clear. Shall we do that together? Let's do that together now. You ready? Are you ready? Stand clear. Charging. I love watching that on Casualty. One more. Okay, stand clear. Charging. Apparently, I was talking to like a proper doctor, or I can't remember what it was, some time ago now. And you know that bit where they bring you around from a heart attack and then you wake up? Apparently, after you've had that, not many people go on to survive. But we don't see that on the telly. They always go home happy, don't they? You know, with Jack Naylor from Holby City giving the cold word, there you go, bye-bye, sort of thing. I love it. I love it. Right, shall I do messages first? Oh, I haven't started my message system. Oh, no, I forgot to do something. Oh, wow. Oh, Chris, you forgot to do something. Someone will notice, won't they? Let's see. Have we got that working? Let's say good morning. Sometimes I have to do a little good morning to get it going. There we are. Now, if you're on... Just a minute. Give me a second. Let's see if that's going to work. See if those messages drop in there. They may not drop in there now. If you're watching on YouTube, okay, could you resend your messages because I didn't have the thing switched on. Sorry about that. Facebook viewers, I am with you. Good morning to Adam the Plumber, who is in the house. Adam the Plumber is in the house. Good morning, Adam. First message of the day today. And he says, oh, the excitement of another live show. It's like waiting on the internet to get the first tickets to Barry Manilow's show and being first. A very exciting moment in your life. I'm sure it was, Adam. Adam lives for this show, you know that. He's got a little shrine to me and everything in his house. Copies, he downloads all the shows, because you are allowed to do that. You know, I don't copyright myself. I'm not bothered about other people making money from this show, because believe me, if you try it, you will fail. You will not be able to make any money from this show at all, I'm afraid. Good morning to Joanna. There's the first message from YouTube coming in there. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, please resend your message, because I wouldn't have got it. I forgot to switch the thing on. Joanna is there. Good morning, you lovely lady, Joanna. Hello to Diane Jebb. Morning, Diane. Katie Ann Patterson is in the house. Morning, Katie. Joey Millen. Hello, Joey. Noah. Hello, Noah. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well, Noah. Lovely to see your little face come up there. As well as my best childhood friend, Mr. Alan Campbell. Morning, Alan. All right, sir. Do you remember, Alan, when we set up a speaker in your house? Alan lived in the next... We lived in council flats. They were masonettes, actually. And Alan lived in the next block to me. So if you've got 2 blocks of flats, there's one here, and he was in this one, and I was in this one, right? And I used to run this... I had this little radio station. It was not on FM or anything, just through wires, into a speaker in someone else's house. We wanted to get a speaker into Alan's house. And then one day, we literally chucked a wire across the road from there to there. I can't remember how we did it now, actually. I mean, we nearly died. Do you remember that, Alan? And there was an actual wire going from one block of flats to the other, which for some reason as a child I thought no one would notice. I think to disguise it, we put little flags on it. Am I right? Like bunting. You know, when you put out for like royal events and all that. I think we put bunting along the wire to disguise the fact that it wasn't a wire. Madness. Morning to Gary Davidson, Chris Manzar. Good morning, Chris. Kathy Conquest Forsyth Smith, one of our beautiful Manilow ladies. Good morning to you. Adam says I was electrocuted the other day when my apprentice turned on the wrong switch at work and blew me. He did what? Oh, I don't think this is that sort of programme for that sort of chat, Adam, if you don't mind me saying so, dear. Katie, with an electric cattle prod, got me. Now, they're quite good for controlling children, aren't they? Electric cattle prods. Do I need one of those? For when my great nieces and nephews, Uncle Chris, shut up. Uncle Chris, up. I must get one immediately. Yeah. Alan said his mum went nuts. I remember your lovely mum. I remember when she was always very kind to me, your mother, Alan. And then you moved down to the Lennox estate, didn't you? And we kind of kept in contact there for a while. And I think it was a bit too far for me to cycle the Lennox estate. So that was, they moved from there to this brand new estate it was at the time, down the bottom of a place called Priory Lane. The estate is still there now. Funnily enough, Alan, I don't know if you know, but years later, I used to DJ. I used to I got a gig, a regular Sunday night gig. I think it was every Sunday and every other Saturday at the Brookside Community Centre. Did you know that? And I think one of the people that ran it was a bloke called John Treloggan and Kathy White. Does that sound about right to you? They were the two people I recognise. And they were very pleasant. They used to have bingo and all sorts of stuff going on in that community centre. But I used to do the disco in there on a Saturday night. Oh, sorry, every other Saturday night and on a Sunday as well. Brookside Community Centre. Do you know it? So you come down the road. If you were coming from Richmond Park, there were kind of two entrances to the Lennox estate. The first, you turn left, and right there on the corner was the Brookside Community Centre. And then to go into the main entrance, you went down a little bit, and then you had the shops going down Priory Lane, and you had the shops then, and then there was the estate there. You would turn left, and an old people's home there, and all that. Yeah, you remember that, don't you? Yes. Alan says you could use one at work, a cattle prod. Yeah, to keep away annoying customers. When's my song going to come up for the karaoke? Because some people aren't patient. I have to say, everyone in there last night was patient. Usually, the regular people at karaoke are usually patient. Other people, when am I doing my song? I've been waiting 10 minutes. I think that's an excellent idea. I must purchase a cattle prod. Are they legal in this country? Cattle prods? Great idea. Great idea. You remember the Young Parkside radio? Yeah, that's right. That as well. Just a second there. Joanna, why are there two YouTube channels going at the same time? I'm not... Well, Joanna, for some reason, I've got... The way I do the show, I send it to a server called Restream. Okay? And then it goes out from there. Now, I have two YouTube things on there. But if I turn one off, then for some reason people don't get the notification. So I don't know. But it doesn't matter which channel you watch it on. It's exactly the same. All right? So don't worry about that. It is exactly the same on there. Okay? So we're just talking about the karaoke there. Last night, lovely karaoke last night. Again, lots of new faces last night. We start at 7:30 on a Monday night. And at that time, we have the our lovely regulars coming. Ray Reynolds was always there at 7:30. Maureen comes early, the lovely Maureen. Is she with us this morning? Let's have a look. I haven't heard from her yet. No, Maureen usually comes nice and early. DJ Chris comes in early. Roy is always there before I start, usually, actually, having a meal, because you can eat in there as well. Central Station, this is in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. And we start off. We started early last night. We had enough singers to start early, so I think we started about 7:20. Because I'm never one, you know, if I'm there and ready, and there are customers there and ready at, like, I don't know, 7:15 for a 7:30 start, might as well start, mightn't I? Yeah, I might not be ready. I tend to get to places very early if I'm doing karaoke, as in 45 minutes before I'm due to start, because there are certain technical things that you have to do. And something might not work. Do you see? And it does happen. Something might not work. We have a minor issue at the moment with the karaoke computer. Now, you may remember I had this problem a little while ago. It happened Friday twice. And it happened last night once, but only at the very beginning of the evening. So it didn't affect us at all, and it didn't go out on the live stream at all. And the problem is, you can be doing a karaoke or playing a bit of music, it all comes off the same computer in between the song, and suddenly it speeds up or slows down. And I'm not quite sure what does it. Okay? For those of you who are computer savvy, I'll tell you how I cure it. I then go into sound settings and I make sure that all the different sound settings, for example, speaker out, sound card out, all those are on the same amount of channels and the same bit rate and the same frequency. So, for example, 2 channels, 44.1 kilohertz, CD quality, 24-bit. Okay, and make sure they're all the same. And for some reason, sometimes one of those has changed. So I don't know if it's that. I do that. Then I unplug the sound card and I plug it back in again, and it seems to cure the problem. But we don't know what's causing it. Something suddenly just knocks it out, and we don't know what that is. As I say, it happened about a year ago and it kept happening and it just stopped happening and it hasn't happened for a year. And then Friday, it happened. And I don't think it's done any updates. I'm sure it hasn't done any updates at all. So I don't know what's causing that. It's very, very strange. Morning to Wayne. Morning, Wayne. Wayne also gets to venues too early as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do, Wayne. Have you ever had that problem? Literally, someone can be singing along and then suddenly the computer will go haywire and double the speed of the song that's playing. Very, very strange. You know, but it's not a disaster. It's not an absolute disaster because it's an easy fix. Morning to Ray Reynolds joining us very late this morning, Ray. Do try and keep up with everyone else, dear. Time is this, honestly, Ray? Morning to JP. Only 4 of us here. The other 4 million are on Facebook. I never know, really, John. I could, if I wanted to, have a little screen in front of me telling me how many people are there, but it doesn't bother me. If one person's enjoying what I do, then it's worth doing, you see. Has the software updated? No, not as far as I know. Do you mean the Karma software? No, it's because it's not just that. It's the music software as well. It's the stuff that plays out the music as well. So we don't know what's knocking that out. It's very, very strange indeed. I might have a word with our very good friend Ben Parker, who is the fountain of all knowledge where it comes to computers and things like that. So, as I say, nice karaoke. Not only was it a nice karaoke, lots of new faces again. Lovely little crowd. One lad from Iceland. He's from Ice Baby. Bum 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 bum. Ice Baby. There was a lad from Iceland in there last night. Fantastic voice. Unusual name like Helga or something like that. And his friend was from Canada. He didn't sing. And his other mate, Mel, wasn't it? Mel was the other one. Now, what did he sing? But the two of them had really good voices. Lovely voices they had last night. Let's have a look. And DJ Chris was there. He did. DJ Chris did an upbeat version of one of his songs, which he found and I got for him. I can't remember what it was for the life of me, but a nice song actually. Nice upbeat, not melancholy, Ray. It wasn't me and Ray. Are completely away from melancholy, depressing, boring songs. No, we really are. We hate them. We want lively songs, dear. Lively songs. Bon Jovi. Living on a prayer. People were very, very lucky last night. I sang twice. Or was it 3 times? I sang twice last night. They were so lucky that I sang twice last night. Good morning to Adrian Richardson. Good morning to you. Morning to the lovely Claire. Morning, Claire, who says hello for the second time. Yeah, I didn't have the chat thing switched on at the beginning of the show there. Sorry about that. John, did you know Steve Allen frequented the Black Cap back in the day? Yes, indeed, I did. He liked all the cabaret and all that. Because, of course, it's been around for years, the Black Cap. There's a group of people trying to reopen it. Whether they do or not, don't know. Absolutely full marks for them. They've carried this on now for nearly 3 years. And every Saturday, John, there's a group of people that go down and set up a little table on that side, outside the closed Black Cap, and hand out flyers, and they dress up, and they're trying to get the pub reopened. 3 years they've been doing that nearly. 3. That is dedication, my friend. 3 years they've been doing that. Fantastic. Let's have a look there. Good. John has me on mute this morning. Is that wise, John? Oh, that's it. You can just fire off your comments at will then, and I can ignore them as much as I want as well. Morning. Right side up is expecting 25 minutes of snow today. 25 centimetres of snow. Oh, no, thank you. You keep the snow there. Not interested in snow. Don't like it, I'm afraid. Good morning to Adrian. Morning. Sorry I was late. I was doing my hair. There is no hair, Adrian. Oh, you mean the hair on your chest? Have you got a hairy chest? I've not got a hairy chest. Would you like to see? Would you like to see a non-hairy chest? Here, look, I'll show you. No hairs, look. They never grew. Honestly, I don't do any shaving. Would you like a little bit more, would you? We'll be taken off for being a pornography. This is pornohub.com or whatever it's called. Anyway, look. No hairs. Look, no hairs. Joanna's getting excited. Look, I better do that up quickly. Joanna's getting far too excited. Her husband might be telling me off for getting it out there. Morning, Michal White. Michal's in the house. Morning, Michal. I've got no letters for a couple of... I do hate it when I get no letters, don't you? I do. I don't know if the postwoman round here... check she's not listening. She's a bit miserable. You know, every morning I do try and say, good morning. All right. That's what... Morning. Yeah. It's not a good morning, is it? I do try and make her feel that she's worth... But she's worth her job, if you see what I mean. But she don't want to talk. Funny, isn't it? We used to have an old bloke come round here, deaf bloke he was. He was so nice, he was. Hello, mate, how are you? But you had to catch him while he was looking at you, otherwise he couldn't hear you, bless his heart. I'd often see him still in the street now, and he always remembers, oh, hello, Chris, how are you? He's got to be in his 70s now. Nice bloke. Good morning to Michael Pullman. Morning, Michael. Oh, you're on YouTube this morning, Michael. Unusual. Morning to you. Chris, please put it away. Come on, Wayne. You would die for a chest like that, wouldn't you? A pigeon chest that you've got that no one looks at, love. Huh? Wayne has a lovely, friendly postman. Yeah, we'll stop inviting him into the house, dear. Oh, dear. Kathy says she hasn't got a hairy chest either. Oh, so no letters. No letters for a few days. Disappointing. Let's have a look. Oh, remember I told you I was nearly 100 and nearly £200, £199 and some 60 pence in credit on my Outfox the Market electricity and gas bill, which is ridiculous. Now, if it was like at the beginning of winter, I'd probably let that ride for a while, because the idea is, with these monthly direct debits from the electric and gas bill, you know, you sign up and you pay so much per month. That's the idea of it. So they work it out. Say it's 50 quid a month, say, right? So during the summer, you'll build that up to, say, 200 quid. And then as winter comes in, you're using more and it will start coming down again. Well, it's continued to go up. Absolutely ridiculous. I think one of the reasons Outfox the Market a little while ago sent us all an email telling us they were going to charge us more in the winter and less in the summer. That evens it out a bit more. Well, that's not what we signed up for. We signed up for a direct debit of the same amount for a whole year. You can't be doing that. Anyway, there was a big ruptions about it. And then about a month and a half later, they sent out another email telling everyone that they were very sorry. They've listened to their customers and they're going back to the old system. Well, why did you change it halfway through then? So I don't know what's happened, but I've now built up £200 of credit with outfoxthemarket.com. And we're coming now towards the end of the winter. Okay, I'm not going to use £200 worth of. I think I'm running at the moment. I've got my latest bill. Where is it? What did I use last month? I'll tell you what I used. Okay, so they're at the moment taking 50. The last one was 60 odd. Oh dear, 60. Oh, good morning, Maureen. Morning, oh, hang on, have I knocked something there? Everything all right? Yes. Maureen is in the house. Good morning, Maureen. Just texting in there. Thank you for my sandwiches. I did have to have a little word with Maureen last night. And the reason is she made DJ Chris sandwiches as well. Maureen always makes me sandwiches, you see. And I thought I was the special one. And then last night I peered down and DJ Chris was eating sandwiches as well. And I said, where have they come from? Oh, Maureen made them for me. Oh, really? Oh, really? So I had to have a word with Maureen. But... she informs me that DJ Chris doesn't get as many as I do. So I was quite happy with that answer. Oh, it's all right. He doesn't get as many as you. Good. And so he shouldn't do. Here we are. Right, look. Okay, so last time they took £67.69 off me. Right, last month. But that's coming back down this month because they've gone back to the old system. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, my electricity use last month, £22.57. Okay, that's for a month. I have solar panels here. If you're thinking, God, that's cheap, I've got solar panels here. I've had them for about 12 years now, and they're very good. They do save an absolute fortune in electricity. My gas bill was £29.06. Okay? So that's a total of 29, 39, 40, 41, 42, about £42.50. £42.50-ish. Something like that. Okay? Well, they took £67 off me. Ridiculous. Of course, the gas bill in the summer is zero. I don't use any gas at all because, again, I've got a thermo water heating solar panel up there, and once it starts, the sun starts coming out in the in the summer, then that heats the water up as well. Don't get anything in the winter from that one. You do get electricity because I've got two types of solar panels. There's a water one and an electricity. The electricity one, the whole year, it just keeps coming. Okay? In the summer, as the sun moves up in the sky, you get even more. And I can have an electric bill in the summer, £10 a month. £10 a month and a zero for gas. I think for 3 months last year, I paid nothing in gas whatsoever other than the standing charge. So now we're at £200 a month. It's ridiculous. So I've emailed them, and they have now responded to my email, and they said they were going to send off my refund request to the accounts department, and we'll see how we go with that. But funnily enough, I was looking in the Daily Mail last night while I was at work, and another electric company, not my one, out Foxton Market, some bloke wrote to the... You know, they have these helping people in newspapers. You know, if you've got a problem, you write to them and they try and sort it out for you. And this bloke had written to the Daily Mail help person, someone like Martin Lewis. Not Martin Lewis, but someone like him. And said they were now £460 in credit. And they keep writing to them and they get the response, we'll respond to you in 2 weeks. What is all that, respond to you in 2 weeks? Can you imagine that? If, you know, these companies wrote to you and you wrote back to them, thank you for your email, I will respond within the next 14 days. We just wouldn't get anywhere, would we? What's all that about? And why respond? What happens for those 14? Does your email then go into a folder and then like, oh, well, okay, so we'll put a little, we'll respond to him on that date. What's all that about? Why have we got to wait 14 days all the blooming time? Is that a legal thing where they're trying to run down a clock or something like that? It's so wrong. Anyway, out Foxton Market, I wrote to them on Sunday night and I got a response this morning. Okay, so that's not too bad at all, is it? Just a couple of days. And they said it's going to their accounts department and we'll see what happens there. But I've requested that they put £150 back in my account, which is fair enough. Who wants to come out to dinner now? Yes, I thought you would. Are you ready for your Valentine's Day? Oh, I've left something downstairs. I'll read it to you tomorrow, but there's some very, very, very good roses and flower deals at Aldi this week. Okay? I mean, literally £2 for a bunch of roses. Well, I don't know where you're going to find that. The only thing is, I should have read it to you Sunday night because this was from yesterday, and they may well have sold out by now. Big, bunches of roses, bunch of 12 roses, £2 in as Aldi. I kid you not. I mean, you won't get the quality as you get from like Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's, obviously, but you know that. But it's good enough. I mean, God's sake, how much you want to spend on these people? Dear me. And they'll be dead in a week anyway. I just don't understand the point of flowers. Unless you buy an orchid. Look what good now this one here. Do you know when this is from Maureen? Do you know when she bought me that? Christmas, it's still flowering. Look at it. Orchids are such good value. When you go into a shop and you see orchid, £10, okay? Don't say, oh, that's a lot for a flower. They go on forever. Christmas, look, it hasn't lost a single flower, that one. That was the one she bought for my birthday. Ray Reynolds, you can't... maybe you can see it on there. Hang on a minute. Can you see that one? Yes, you can. There it is. I'll just move that over. There it is. See that blue one there? See that blue one there? That was from Ray Reynolds at Christmas time. At my birthday a couple of weeks ago. Where was the present for you from my birthday? Nothing. I'm unloved and unwanted. That's what I am. So really, really good value to buy orchids. And I would say, I know there's the whole thing about the red rose being for love and all that, this and the other, isn't there? Really. But if you want to save money, I mean, you can go to Aldi, get yourself some cheap roses, couple of quid. Okay, you know they're only going to last a week. Or you can go and spend a little bit more, probably a lot more actually, in Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's. You'll get a beautiful bouquet that'll probably last a lot longer than that, to be fair to them. You know, but you will pay for it. You know, so you take your pick there of what you're going to have there. All right, Zack. A very good morning to Zack Thompson. Morning, Zack. Nice to see you, sir. All right, Adam the plumber. When are we going for our meal? We're not. What meal? What meal is this, dear? Good morning to Mary Warren. Mary, non-Irish Mary from Ireland, is in the house. Congratulations, Mary, for waking up for another morning. Good morning, Mary. Mary's one of her eyes isn't functioning at the moment, and I've told her when she renews her TV licence, go for half price. I mean, they can't possibly charge you the whole price if there's only one eye working. That's just unfair. And if they say no, you can't have it, I would take it to the members of Parliament, dear. I mean, Boris Johnson would be very, very interested in what you've got to say, my darling. All right, Mary, missed you last night, darling. Maybe we can have a chat later because I've got to come into London and come out again, sort of around about 11 o'clock-ish. Shall I try you about 11 o'clock? If you're busy, it doesn't matter. All right, I'll try you later. All right, sweetheart. Adrian, if you buy me roses, please make sure that I was sent to ones with a nice, lovely smell. I don't like the ones which just look red. Now that's what you'd get in Aldi. I've got to be honest. If you get them in Aldi, they'll be reasonable. They look reasonable, but they won't smell. And I'm in total agreement with you about that, Adrian. I hate roses and flowers, unless they are not scented flowers, that don't smell. One of the loveliest flowers you can buy that smell are freesias. Freesias, they are such a delight. And at this time of the year, we're just coming into the period now, hyacinths. Now, they've got those in Aldi, little things of hyacinth, 3 hyacinths in there. Hyacinths. You get a few of those and put them around the house. Better than any air conditioning smell or spray. Hyacinths. Oh, such a beautiful smell. But you know when they're gone because they start smelling bad. A bit like your feet, probably, Adrian, I would guess. Kathy saying good morning to the lovely Mary. Mary's in the house. Kathy's got an orchid from Ray 3 years ago that's still going. There you go. You see, orchids are great value. They really are. Highly recommended. And good place for orchids often is a garden centre. My God, they've got hundreds of them in there. You can get like one for a couple of pounds, or you can go up to £20, £30 for a great big thing. I've never had a really big thing of orchids. Actually, that's given me an idea for my, we might be here. I won't say it. That's given me an idea for someone who I know would love that. Something like that for their birthday. Orchids. We love orchids. All right. Gustav. Morning, Gustav. Morning, Chris. I'm late today. Well, there you go, Gustav. If you're out getting drunk all night long on that dodgy old cider that you drink, you will sleep in. I'm surprised your liver hadn't got up out of bed first. Well, mate, wouldn't that be great, actually, Gustav? Especially for people like you. You know, if you could sort of get up, but your liver hasn't recovered, so you could leave that in bed for another couple of hours. That might be an idea, mightn't it? Perhaps you could have a removable liver. How many times has yours been replaced? Gustav is following ambulances now. He's following ambulances. Waiting for another liver on hopefully someone that's dead in an ambulance. Shocking. Shocking state of affairs. He says, you still moaning about not having Valentines? Yeah, well, I did say at the pub last night, and perhaps I could ask you this question. Those of you that haven't noticed this yet on my Facebook wall, I'm wondering, I'm thinking of treating myself this Valentine's Day. I'm going to book into a lovely, nearly. A lovely, beautiful hotel, a posh hotel, something like Coworth Park or the Mandarin Oriental. Somewhere like that for Valentine's night. I'm thinking of doing that, and I'm going to have, can I have the hearts, please? And perhaps the box of chocolates on the bed and little petals everywhere. Perhaps, going from the doorway, I could have a little carpet of perhaps petals, going from the doorway. So these posh hotels will do whatever you want them to do. As long as you pay for it. Absolutely. Claridge's. I don't know if anyone ever saw the programme about Claridge's. Wonderful programme. And people like Saudi princes and people like that, they hire an entire floor. They then have it decorated and carpeted exactly how they want it before they come and stay for a week. I kid you not. Then they move in and they do that, and then it's all finished, and then the hotel have to put it back again to how it was. They pay for it, thousands, tens and hundreds of thousands of pounds to do that. But if you want it and you pay for it, they will do that for you. So I don't suppose it would cost me too much money to have petals going from the hotel door room, all the way to the bed, and then on the bed, little heart-shaped, tissue coloured tissue papers all over the bed, and like a little heart pillow there could be, and maybe another heart like that on the bed, and it would be wonderful. And I'm considering doing that this year. The only thing is, what I wanted to know is on Valentine's Day, would I still have to pay a single person's supplement for that? Because I would be going on my own. They wouldn't think it would be sad, would they? Do you think? A man going for a Valentine's night in a hotel on his own? Would there be a single person's supplement? I must inquire and find this out. I will actually have to inquire and find this out. JP has ordered me a large tin of beans from the tin shop. I think I ate them all, John. There isn't any left. There's none left, unfortunately. Never mind. John's arranged for the petals at our hotel, Tal Vista, which is on a volcano. He's going to a volcano. Well, I hope it doesn't erupt. We can't afford to lose viewers on this programme, No, absolutely not. Adrian, Chris, you should go down to Longacres Garden Centre. Yes, that's right. I used to go there a lot. The trouble is with Longacres, it's become too big. Not only is it a garden centre, they've got a massive restaurant in there. They got clothes, they got lights. It's just too big now. It's too big, and it's an absolute pain in the arse when you want to queue up and pay. It really is. They've got loads of tills there, but it's slow and it's hard work getting through. Mind you, some of the lads who work the tills on there are very, very tasty, I must say. My tongue's out like that. And, thank you, sir, that's £35.40. And I'm like, and they look up at me, I'm like... Adrian says I should go down to the garden centre. Fresh flower department is absolutely wonderful. The smells and good values. Yes, I know, I've been there. They have a cut flower section, which is like a cold store, really. You go through, the plastic shutters, and it's quite cold in there. And the quality of the flowers in there is second to none. Longacres Garden Centre, which is in Bagshot. It's just down the road from me, really. When I eventually start the tours of my grounds here in Bracknell, you could pop in there on the way home, I'm going to start coach tours soon to my property here. Big coach tour. You probably, the only thing is that my drive is quite long. It's about an hour to go down my drive and get here. I have to have that because fans. Otherwise, if I just had a normal house, fans would be camping outside along with paparazzi, from the Daily Mirror. From the Daily Mirror and the Sun and the Daily Mail. And the only thing is, at the beginning of my driveway, there is an underpass. And if I was to go down that underpass with all the paparazzi following me, there's been some terrible accidents down underpasses like that. There really have, my dears, with paparazzi. And so that's why I have a long driveway here, so that people can't. And wild dogs are roaming around. But actually, they're not dogs. I've lied to you. They're cats. Because I'm not keen on. They're a bit annoying dogs, aren't they? All the blooming time. Cats. Wild cats are roaming my grounds just in case anyone tries to break in. Although the last person, he was held hostage by 10 cats, forcing him to stroke them. My pussies do like a good stroke, I'm telling you that now. They absolutely do. Ray Reynolds, get the Metro today. There's a 2-page spread on Bracknell. Is there really? Well, is it another story about me? I get fed up reading about myself in the paper. I was in Boys 2 weeks in a row. Did you notice that, Ray? Thank you. Good morning to Brendan. Morning, Brendan. Just thought I'd say hello before my long drive from the Norfolk Broads to Wakefield in Yorkshire. Ba, 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 ba. Yes. Not quite as long as your drive to Reardon Hall. That's Reardon Hall. I like that. I like that. Gold plaque, Reardon Hall outside the front door. Adrian, you're so much like Steve. Steve. Oh, you mean Steve Allen? I'm nothing like Steve Allen. Come on, don't let him hear you. That he'll go mad. There is only one Steve Allen who is the top talk show host of all time. Absolutely. There was another bloke, I don't know if you ever knew him, John, Mike Dickin. He died some years ago. He was always going on. I shouldn't laugh, really. He was always going on about speed cameras, and he died in a road accident on his way home from work once. He was on talk radio. I used to listen to him on there. He was just so dry. He was so dry, and he had me in stitches. People would ring up. Right, and you know what? I mean, you know from the past, some of the people who've rung up when I've had the phone line open here. Although it hasn't happened recently. We've been opening the phone lines now and again over the last couple of weeks, and we've had not one boring call. I can't believe it. But nevertheless, he was on talk radio, and people would ring him, and some of them were not, you know, quite the shiny penny that they should be, and he would just cut them off. And they'd start rabbiting away, and you could hear him, and he'd be going, oh, God. You could hear him going like that while they were doing their talking, and eventually he'd cut them off. He said, listen, if there's anyone out there with more than one brain cell who wants a decent conversation with me this morning, please call in. Otherwise, don't bother. And he used to have a go at his producer. Do you remember Mike Dickin? Ray Reynolds would know him. He'd have a go at his producer when things wouldn't work. Who's working out there today? Do you want to keep your job? Do you want to keep your job? Well, can I suggest you posh up the right faders at the right time if you're paying any attention to what's going on in here? He was hilarious. Mike Dickin. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Katie, Black Panthers. Oh, what was that? Oh, Gordon Banks has just died. There's a name synonymous with football, isn't it? Gordon Banks has just died. I've just got that news story in there. 81 years old. That's 81? That's just about getting old, isn't it now, 81, don't you think? 81. Gordon Banks, England's 1966 World Cup goalkeeper, has died, aged 81. Yeah, I remember my father. My father used to be a massive football fan. Oh, God. Funnily enough, my younger nephew, Jimmy, is a massive football fan. He's always got the football on the telly or going to some game or something on a coach or a train somewhere. I was never, ever interested in football at all. But my dad was a big football fan. When he died, he was a Queen's Park Rangers supporter. And my mum had a ball of flowers in the Queen's Park Rangers colours. Yeah, but I remember Gordon Banks, certainly. I didn't follow football, but you know certain names like Gordon Banks, Wayne Rooney, who's being a naughty boy again, isn't he? I can't keep it in his shorts, can he? Naughty old man. Let's have a look there. A film I've just started watching on Netflix, Bleeding Steel. Anyone seen that one? It's like cyborgs, and they're fighting humans. You see, I think that will happen. It's all very well inventing these robots. At some point, you'll have these armies of robots that can fight without any human activity. And then they will start attacking the humans. That will absolutely happen at some point. Will we be here at the time? I don't know. I think the whole robot thing is going to is now moving very quickly. Will we see cyborg? I don't know. I mean, 55. I suppose just about 56 I am now. I suppose just might do, mightn't we? That'd be frightening, wouldn't it? Being chased by a robot. You wouldn't be able to hide anywhere because they'd have that thing on there where they can see in dark spaces and through things, infrared and all that business. Be like lasers looking out all over the place, wouldn't it? Very, very frightening, really. Very frightening. Yes, John did know Mike Dickens. He was great. James Wow, take him or leave him. I don't dislike him. James Wow, there are some people I dislike on the radio, actually. There are some, believe me, that they come across as boring. Just boring. I don't like boring people. I just turn it off straight away. John says Banks only had one eye. Is that right? I didn't know that. Did he only have one eye? He was a brilliant goalkeeper. Oh, yes. I remember seeing him on those England games, you see. All right, some news stories for you this morning then. First of all, now, we've spoken about this a few times on the show. In the Daily Mail this morning, world's insects could be wiped out within a century. Now, this is very bad. Very bad. I mean, we've all been out there in the garden or somewhere eating an ice cream along by the, out somewhere, or a jam scone or something like that, and the wasps, they will not go away. You know what I mean? And you like this, but you shouldn't really wave your hands because then they attack. Wasps. Bees, you struggle to find anyone that's actually been stung by a bee who didn't provoke the bee. I've had in my garden, I used to have a great big shed in my garden. I got rid of it some years ago. Me and my mate took it apart. We had a much bigger garden without the shed. But one day I noticed the bees were going underneath the shed. There was every now and again, a bee would fly in and go under the shed. And I got right close to it and they made a nest under the shed. And I was literally, see where this microphone is? I was literally like that, watching the bees going in and out. They never attacked me. I left them alone. All I wanted to do was watch, and they were quite happy with me standing there, watching the activity that they were doing, collecting stuff and nectar and all that. Bees, not a problem. Wasps, a bit of a problem. We don't like them. We don't like flies. We don't like green flies. We go out there with our little sprays and spray all over the place, and then they drop down dead, don't they? Things like that. But it's very bad. They all do something. There's a massive ecosystem. This eats that, that eats that, that eats that, and so on and so forth. Take out one of the things, and suddenly that one's got nothing to eat. Then that dies, and the next one's got nothing to eat. Then that dies, and it goes on as far as us. Insects could become extinct in the Daily Mail this morning within a century if their rapid rate of decline continues. Now, this is really obvious, and I'll tell you why in a minute. You must have noticed this. Has it not clicked yet? I'll tell you in a minute. According to the first global scientific review, a damning study found 41% of all insect species are in decline, and the loss of these animals will trigger a catastrophic collapse in the planet's ecosystems. Scientists in Sydney revealed the total mass of insects was found to be falling 2.5% a year. That's a lot. And may go extinct within a century. The starting claims rely on no conservation efforts being successful, and the famously durable and adaptable insect phylum failing. I don't know what a phylum is. Phylum. Phylum failing to adapt to the ongoing natural flux. Insects have long been heralded as the great survivors of the animal kingdom, and it would require an astonishing degree of destruction to eradicate them permanently. I'm sure you know the story of if there was a nuclear war or just an explosion, the one thing to survive would be cockroaches. I've seen that story a few times. seen that story a few times. The findings built on previous claims that the Earth has entered its 6th mass extinction, the first since a giant asteroid slammed into a modern-day Mexico and triggered the demise of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. One of which still survives now and sings at my karaoke on a Monday nights. I'm not going to mention the person. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry. Sorry. No, I'm not going to mention his name. The speed at which the insects are dying is 8 times faster than that of mammals, birds and reptiles. And it is very, very bad. One thing eats another. And why is this so obvious? I'll tell you why. Do you remember driving in the 70s and the 80s? This is the bit I've mentioned several times before. In the 70s and the 80s, certainly when I moved out here to Berkshire in 1992, even as early as recent as 1990, I say it's recent, 1992, 02, 12, blimey, that's 25 years. And that's scary. When you say that, like it's 25 odd years ago, 1992, isn't it? Something like that, 27, something like that. Anyway, I used to leave here and go to work. I'd drive from London to Camden Town. I was working at a place called the Black Cat. And I'd get there, and there'd be dead insects on the windscreen. Sorry. There'd be dead insects on the windscreen. Okay? Should we see who that is? Just a minute now. I'm dying to know who that is. Leeds. Good morning. No one. And then I'd do the job and I'd come home. Again, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd drive home and there'd be even more dead insects on the window. Not just a few, loads of them. Moths and big green things and flies and green flies. The occasional wasp. There would always be loads of dead insects on the windscreen. Now, none. Not a single insect do I ever find on my windscreen when I go all the way from here down to London and back again. But even more obvious than that, perhaps you might think to yourself, yeah, but he's travelling in a lot of built-up area. Listen, when I go up to Lincolnshire, I spend 2 hours driving through countryside. There are no dead insects ever on my windscreen now. Never. Not one. So it's obvious that this story is not a made-up thing. I've noticed this for some years now. You hear the blokes and the ladies talking about it on the radio quite often now. There are no dead insects anymore on your windscreen. Now that has got to be an awful lot of insects that have been wiped out, because obviously, you're in a little car. You're in a little car. It can only pick up so many on that screen, can't it? If your little windscreen in comparison to the whole of the country, now what's the percentage of that? 0.000000001? And yet you're not getting a single insect dead on the windscreen. Very bad. Very bad. But you do see, the farmers, they've got to stop the insects eating the food, haven't they? So they spray it all with this stuff. Everything dies. Herbicides. Very, very bad indeed. So that really is a bit of a worry there. Morning to Jason Carter. Morning, Jason. Welcome to the show, Jason. Katie Ann says all the farmers are really worried about the bees. Yes, we've had the bee story for some years, but they're now talking about insects in general. Wasps. We hate wasps. I hate wasps. If I see a wasp near me, I'll try and kill it. But they're doing something, otherwise they wouldn't be there. Wasps are important. I'm not saying for 5 minutes, you should go out there and get something that would attract wasps into your garden or your roof space up there. My aunt had wasps in her place, and she said they were flying around, and now and again they'd get into the house. She's had the exterminator around a couple of times. But they are doing something. Very, very worrying. Over on YouTube, good morning, Tony Power. Morning, Tony, who says, I spoke to Mike Dickin many times on LBC, mainly on political matters. He's a miserable git. Well, he's not here anymore. I thought he was excellent at his job, Mike Dickin. Really, really good. He was excellent. Tony Power, Gordon Branks lost an eye in a car crash many years ago. I didn't know that. And Tony also says about Mike Dickin, he would never let you get one over on him. If you had an argument with him that you knew you were winning, he would cut you off straight away. That sounds a bit like him, yeah. I think you're right. Ray, I was at Pontins Pakefield near Lowestoft in 1966 watching the World Cup when we won. Tom did the radio station there as well. Yes, he did. He was telling me about that. We used to go to Pontins holidays. Anyone go to Pontins holiday camps? Oh, they were great. They had big speakers everywhere, Radio Pontins, which would come on several times a day, usually playing a record to tell you that it was time to go to breakfast, lunch or dinner. Katie says most of the farmers have beehives on their land. Yeah, you can go out and get little beehives and mini sort of bee houses, can't you, and things like that, and put them in your garden. And I would advise anyone to do that, really. You know, if you were thinking, I don't know, the bees might attack me. No, they won't. They won't. If you leave them alone, leave the bees alone, they're not interested in you. They just want to go and fly from stamen to stamen, collecting some more of that lovely nectar to make your honey. Tell them about the honey, mummy. Is it okay, you know, beekeepers and that, when they collect the honey, the bees don't die, do they? I don't think they die. It's done in such a way that the bees they got that big box and they pull out that thing, don't they? It's all covered in bees, and I think they just kind of waft them off with their hands or a bit of smoke or something. But I don't think it I don't think it kills the bees at all. Good. Right, we got any other stories here? I had quite a few stories here, but we nearly run out of time. Now, what about this? Begging. Who's short of money? Anyone short of money? Well, there's a bloke here, right? He earns £5,000 a month begging on Twitter. Now, I've got Twitter. I think I'm going to have to try this. I've got Twitter. Here we go. A college dropout makes up to £5,000 a month. 5,000 begging on Twitter. This bloke, Jovan. That's a nice name. Jovan Hill, who compares himself to Jovan Hill compares himself to reality TV stars, the Kardashians. There we are, the Kardashians, famous for being no one, really. With his online begging, paying for a swish flat and all his bills, earning 5 times the £965 monthly salary he made working in a fast food restaurant before. That's a lot of money, isn't it? £965 a month for working in a fast food restaurant. That's pretty good money, isn't it? Oh, well. Before quitting in January last year to beg full-time, he now begs full-time. Jovan, 25, believes his money-making venture has also found him fame. He's in Brooklyn, New York, and he says, I'm Twitter famous. It's clear that I'm providing my followers with a service, and that's why they give me money. I mean, get your checkbooks ready, boys and girls. I'm about to give you my name and address. By the way, I'm also opening an account where you can directly deposit your deposits inside my bank account. Okay? He says, pardon? There are some people who don't like what I do, but I think it's more of a jealousy thing. Essentially, I'm like the Kardashians, sitting on the couch moaning, throwing out a few jokes, but still getting paid. Isn't that what I'm doing? Why am I not making this money? Sometimes I even get recognised in the street by my followers. Wow, you're so lucky, Jovan. Wow. Maybe if I looked different and wore a suit every day, I would be on the Forbes list of the most successful businessmen of the year for coming up with this strategy. I mean, these people, they're delusional. I tell you why you're making money, because you're young and pretty still. That's why. Wait till you get to my age. You won't get a penny, dear. Won't get a penny. Unless, of course, you have talent like I do. You know. I mean, people come to my karaoke nights. I don't think most of them come to sing. They come to hear me sing. I'm sure of that. He fell into full-time begging after appealing to his followers, a fraction of the number he has now, in December 2017. On the online streaming service Periscope. But this show goes on Periscope as well. Unfortunately, with the Periscope things, for some reason, people send in messages, they just do not get to me at all for some reason. Beforehand, in March, he had been working at a fast food eatery, earning £965 a month, which seems not bad to me for one of those sort of jobs. But he loathed it. I had a few real jobs before I do what I do, he explained. I was a healthcare assistant. Oh, top marks for that. And an elderly person's home while I was at college, and after that I went to food at a work at a fast food restaurant when I dropped out. This is in the Daily Mirror this morning. None of it felt like me, and I hated it, so I asked my followers to give me money, and they obliged. I couldn't believe it was the first time I was given around £400. Concerned for her son's happiness, his mum, Veronica, a nurse, gave him some money so he could move to New York and build a new life there. And I'll have to tell you, he's good looking. He's a good looking bloke. He's one of those people who's dyed his hair kind of silvery, goldy colour. You know, he's a black lad and dyed it sort of silvery. Some of them do that. She says that little did she know he would find a lucrative career as an apparent beggar. Now he's got 110,000 followers on Twitter. How many have I got? Hang on a minute. 110,000. I must be close to that now. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, 617. It doesn't work for me, does it? This whole doing a YouTube show, Facebook, Twitter, it doesn't work for me, does it? How many we got watching now? 3? He says his dad, who works in IT, couldn't understand how his son was making money at first. Jovan says he's now warmed to the idea. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm providing a service, and millennials understand that entertainment and comedians aren't just on TV or stages anymore. They can exist solely on Twitter and on Facebook, dear. And here on Facebook and YouTube. 110,000 viewers who send him money. What am I doing wrong? I must be doing something wrong. I don't know what. Ray Reynolds. Hello, Blue Orchid. Blue Orchid is in the house this morning. All right. Oh, Katie says 4. Is that right? 4. Are we down to 4 now? Never mind, darling. Never mind. All righty. Now, listen, I'll have to wrap up here. Time for me to go into London. Gonna pop into London this morning and do my bloods. First of all, it's time for today's birthdays. Happy birthday this morning to Antony Michael Collishaw. Good morning. 46, aren't you today, Antony? Happy birthday, Antony. He's had a double, I think, a kidney replacement here. Liver and kidneys? Is it liver and kidneys he's had? Replaced something like that, I think, haven't you? And still battling away. So good morning to you, Antony. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to a DJ friend of mine, Stefan Luke Scrivener. Morning, Stefan. He's also got his own cleaning business. Met him a couple of times. Lovely chap. Lovely chat. Good morning, Stefan. Happy birthday. Elisa Gordon today is 23 years old on this Tuesday, the 12th of February 2019. Zack Thompson. Oh, Zack, you didn't tell us it was your birthday, did you, mate? Happy birthday. 28 years old today. Is with us this morning. Happy birthday, Zack. All right. Hope life is well with you. I love the name, by the way, Zack. That's got a real ring to it. It's a very young name, isn't it, Zack? Happy birthday. Janet Semaine is 55 today. Good morning, Janet. Happy birthday. Bye-bye, Adam. See you, Adam. Back to work. And Chris Ward today is 45 years old. Happy birthday, Chris. And Michael Burnett. Wow, you're 34 now. I used to work with him at a place in Clapham that I worked. He's a lovely chap. Polish. And such a nice chap. I can't believe you're 34 now, Michael. So happy birthday to you all on this Tuesday, gang. Where's my music? Oh, 1 minute. Is that? Oh, well, that should be playing, I think. 1 minute. No music. Ooh. Where's the music? Is that up? Isn't that strange? I've got no music. Oh, well, I'll try it. All right. Oh, no. Here it comes. Here it comes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Joanna says, get your earplugs ready. How rude. It's all right, Joanna. When it's your birthday, if it comes up on the Facebook thing, I shall just skip across it so you don't have to listen to me singing to you, dear. That's how it is. By the way, gang, if you're not on my Facebook and you do want your birthday mentioned, then just send us a message. On the day is fine, actually, and I'll do that for you, or anyone else. You know, maybe there's a member of your family. Perhaps you've got a little child or something like that, you know, who's like 3 or 4 years old. You'd like me to sing happy birthday to them. I can do all that. We always do it right at the end of the show. Just send a message and I'm happy to do that. All right. Thanks ever so much, gang. That's it for the show today. I shall type up the summary, have another cup of tea and then leave for London and hopefully see you again sometime tomorrow. You have a good day and thank you very, very much for watching and listening to the show. And also thank you for those of you who took the time and trouble to share the show to your walls as well. You never know. I might get up to 110,000 followers. Probably not, though. Bye-bye.